what's up, man? I just called my attorney, try to get him down there so Adam don't be doing no telling, bro.
Man, they saying Adam locked up all on the blogs. What's going on?
They came and got him this morning, bro. They doubled back. They came by and we try and have him out because he's supposed to go live today, right?
Yeah, he's supposed to go live at 4 p.m. And the crazy thing is, Adam texted me.
They're going to have him out by like 2:30. We can get him out by 2:30 and still make it to the building.
Adam texts me every day, and I ain't heard from him today.
Listen, bro. I sent Alex Kessel down there. He said he going to have him out by 2:30, right? He ain't got no nothing. He's not, he ain't no flight risk or nothing. I didn't need to, I said, Alex, just use whatever, he said, nah, he got everything he needs for this portfolio. So he should be free by 2:30. And that means he should make it back. What time he's supposed to go live today?
So Adam 22 was under fire. Now he's saying that No Jumper's going broke, right? And he's selling the building. He's laying off a lot of staff. He's talking about a lot of things that's going on, but a lot of people saying that he's leaving a lot of stuff out, right? So you see in the beginning of my video, you got Whack 100 saying that the feds doubled back. They came back and got him. They was asking some questions because remember, on his channel, you had a lot of gangs and a lot of thugs on there talking about crimes, that's never been solved. And he was actually creating a platform for these guys to come and talk about criminal activity. Now, when the cameras went off, we don't know what they might have told Adam 22. So the fans want to know, are you aiding and abetting? Do you have information on criminal activity that we may need to know? So what he's doing now is he's trying to close up shop and separate himself from the gangs. Whatever happened to just interviewing these rappers and talking about music? How did it turn into a full-fledged gang conversation where now all of a sudden you're talking to rappers or gangbangers about criminal street activity? When did it get into that? You and Vlad, right? So now you're claiming you're going broke. So now you're claiming you're going broke because you want to cut ties with all the stuff that brought you a lot of money because now the heat is coming down, right? So now Tasha K, she got wind of this. And she took to social media and said, well, wait a minute, Adam, you're not telling everything. So she said this.
Here's the thing. So when he made his little video that you're about to watch, and here's the thing, we talk all the time in the DM. We were just talking yesterday. I just felt like he's not saying everything. And so I decided to call one of my little LA connects to kind of fill in the holes. So we're going to hear what he had to say. We did post it on, our social media sites, but I'm just going to fill in what I feel that he needs to really be telling y'all. But he ain't going to tell y'all because it's going to make him look weak. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Adam. Let him know.
There's something that I've been hiding from you guys. No Jumper is going broke. I know that might sound crazy. Between both of our YouTube channels last month, we got over 25 million views. We're doing well on Facebook and Snapchat. We employ quite a few of the hottest content creators on the West Coast, and we pump out an insane amount of content on a weekly basis. How could we be going broke? Well, let's start here. We expanded too much during COVID at just about the exact moment that our revenue streams all took a hit. We hired a whole bunch of editors and other employees, and we bought a huge office building that cost us almost $4 million, thinking that the growth that we were experiencing during the pandemic was going to continue. And unfortunately, that did not happen. Our YouTube numbers, which had doubled or even tripled, gradually returned to normal. Our Snapchat and Facebook numbers, which had exploded during COVID, sometimes even hitting 6 figures a month, shrank by about 80% or more. Our Patreon, which was absolutely killing it for a year or two when we were doing uncensored, aka nude interviews with up-and-coming superstars like Kazumi and Sky Bree, fell off quite a bit with the launch of Plug Talk and a decreased interest in seeing us interview stars. In addition to that, you might recall that the channel took quite a hit when approximately 8 of our hosts left the platform in March of 2023. Although we've definitely largely recovered and managed to build up a very healthy roster of talent since then, that certainly took a toll on our business for a while as well. All that stuff hurt the business, but we were still solidly profitable. That is, until the last few months where we experienced 2 major L's that we never could have seen coming. First, we lost the No Jumper Instagram. After almost 10 years of building it up and essentially no strikes on our account, we got taken down one day and we still have absolutely no idea why. We've had no luck getting it back despite being in contact with what seems like every Instagram recovery guy on the face of the planet. We were bringing in a very solid amount of cash monthly that was keeping us afloat via selling sponsored posts on the account. And that mostly vanished overnight. And while we've been growing the new No Jumper LA account up ever since and managing to sell sponsored collab posts using my Instagram and the No Jumper LA account, DM or email if interested, we aren't making anywhere near as much from Instagram now. Side note, if you're a Meta rep, please DM me. I would love to speak to anyone who could help with this. And second, in addition to that, we have been hit with a lawsuit from a former employee. Now, essentially everything in this lawsuit is completely fictional, and every lawyer that I've spoken to about it has described this as basically an extortion attempt, but it still cost us a ton of money already, and it's expected to cost us many hundreds of thousands of dollars to see this through to completion. It's insane to me that a person that we did so much for can just invent some grievances out of thin air and cost us this much money as a result. This person has literally lost every single friend that he used to have when he worked at No Jumper. His streaming career has completely tanked, and he even got kicked off the podcast that he left No Jumper to start. But somehow that's our reality, and we have to fight this rather than just give in to this piece of shit. So as a result of all these circumstances, we are making some changes. Over the last few months, we laid off multiple employees in an attempt to reduce our expenses as much as possible. We closed down our store on Melrose, and we're in the early stages of selling our current warehouse and moving into a smaller space. To be honest, aside from the layoffs, which sucked, I'm pretty happy about a lot of these changes. I've realized that I should have paid more attention to DJ Vlad and kept my overhead as low as possible, particularly in terms of staff and location. I'm confident that once we get the building sold, we'll be in a pretty solid financial position again as a business. Oh, and I also just want to note that I am talking about No Jumper as a business. I've got another business in the form of Plug Talk, and I've got a pretty decent investment portfolio on a personal level. I mean, I'm not $2 million in debt, and I never had to file for bankruptcy like T-Rel.
We felt like he was throwing shots at us bankruptcy people. I know the hell he didn't. No, he did not. A system y'all invented that we now using. Stop, Adam. Stop. Ain't nothing wrong with bankruptcy. If you want to be debt-free, you make sure you hit my link, startovernow.org. Startovernow.org to speak with a free, to speak with not a free lawyer, but to speak with a lawyer and get your free consultation, okay? And then you'll be debt-free. You can get your car, keep your house, all that student loans, child support, all that up in there, okay? Every bankruptcy is different. Don't you ever speak down on bankruptcy again. I wish I could live in bankruptcy for the rest of my life. Don't you do that. You got privileges we don't have.
And see, Adam had Loose Cannon on there. Loose Cannon was on there talking about Big U. And they was on there talking about, man, this is crazy. They was on there talking about the unaliving of Nipsey Hussle, right? And he was alleging that Big U called him before, right, moments before Nipsey Hussle was unalived, right? As if he had information as to when and how it was going to happen. He's saying this on No Jumper, talking about a murder, right? And listen, the fans is watching, everybody's watching. Adam 22 just sitting there just allowing it to happen. Why would you allow these guys to come on your platform and do this kind of stuff? Then he says, so then you got Whack 100 egging it on, says, so you say he called you prematurely. He called you too fast, right? Y'all don't believe me? Look at this foolishness.
So he FaceTimed me and stuff like that. He was like, Nipsey just got killed. I'm like, 6-0. I didn't hear that. So I hang up with him. I called Nipsey, and I'm like, Nipsey, what's up? He was like, oh, what's up with it?
Nipsey answered.
Nipsey answered. He answered the phone, and I was like, I love you, cuz, or whatever like that.
Did you tell him the call you just got, or you didn't even mention it?
I didn't mention it. And that's because my cousin is Nipsey baby mama. You get what I'm saying? So it was like, I could have probably stopped it, or it had it.
Stop what?
No, because listen. So after I talked to Nipsey, and I was like, "Yeah, I love you, cuz," or whatever like that. I see you later, or whatever. So I hung up the phone. I thought Big U gave wrong information. 30 minutes later, the homies blowing me up like they just. And so I'm like,
wait. You get a call from Big U telling you Nip.
Yeah.
You panic, call Nip. Nip answered the phone.
Yep, and
You
we
like
were just
okay,
talking on regular, so it's like at the end of the day, I didn't even think about it because
you don't even warn him that you got that call from dude.
No, because their relationship was so be like they be hot one minute, then they be cold the next minute, and then they be lukewarm. Like you
and
just
30
never
minutes
knew.
after you get out the phone with Nip, he get.
I got it.
So
all
you
on
think
the
he hit
TV
you a little too early?
Yep, he hit me a little bit too early.
Tasha K was saying that her sources within the police department was saying that he's Adam 22 is not telling the whole truth and nothing but the truth, right? He's trying to cut ties. And the community that he has the building in, they don't want him there. They want him out, right? So now the feds is going to subpoena all kinds of videos and records because not just in the Big U, Whack 100, Loose Cannon, Brick Baby, he's had thousands of men on there, of people on there that came on there and incriminated themselves or talked about crimes that haven't been solved. Him and Vlad. That's why Vlad has shut up. Vlad is going quiet, right? Right? So Tasha K, she's exposing all of this because these guys are crazy, right? She's saying this.
Now, here's the thing. I wish I could have felt sorry for him, but he white. It's hard for me to hear them womp, womp, womp when you're white. You know, and there's nothing wrong with being white. I'm just saying, it's just, it hits different. You feel me? And so, you know, you saying you broke being white and the fact that you're able to go out and get a $4 million studio, black businesses don't even get approved for that type of loans. It just, I don't know. It feels like you've got an asset on your hands and you're trying to move these assets because you got a lot of lawsuits underway. Okay. And, you know, it takes money to keep money. Okay. And so here's the thing. So I called up a little friend of mine that happens to work in, you know, the PD's office, LAPD. And apparently Adam is not telling the whole story. Now he is more than welcome to come on the platform and address it. You know, I just kind of felt like I wasn't going to get the entire truth because it's got to do with a lot of that RICO stuff that's going on with Big U and Whack 100 and all those guys. And so apparently he went from doing like I guess just regular underground rapper content to now it's content to ignite street beef, and then they come and talk on the platform about street beef, and then they carry out the street beef, and then they use it to, you know, send shots at each other, sort of like what Vlad was doing for a while and then he stopped. You know what I'm saying? Because he was getting, you know, he was being called a fed and everything like that because they were asking to use his footage, even though he says he never gave them any footage. Okay, whatever. So that's what his platform evolved into, especially when he had linked with Whack 100. Okay. And Whack 100 claims that he's, I guess, some type of set pyro. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't really live that lifestyle. I've never dealt with people that live that lifestyle. But here's what I'm being told is that Adam gotta go, and the platform has gotta go, because the thing about it is, it's like, you know, it's caused so many disruptions in the community with them using his platform to ignite beef, and then they talk about the beef and then they send shots. They're going to be queuing all of that content to use to build a case on these people that they just recently arrested, Big U and all those people. And so in order for him to not be labeled a snitch, even though his content snitches and they were snitching on themselves, it's better to just kind of pack up and move out of Dodge. You know, he makes a nice little living, you know, selling his wife and selling his penis. He told me personally he's been with over like 700 people. I was literally scared to even touch him. You know, like that to me, that's very disgusting. And so he's trying to get up out of that mix before he gets labeled something that he doesn't want to get labeled, and then he really has to kind of look over his shoulders like this, because they're going to be coming for his ass. So apparently Loose Cannon and all those guys that got locked up under this RICO charge under Big U, and they're slated to do Lil Baby here next, The reason they're slated to do Lil Baby, from what I'm hearing, is because Lil Baby is intertwined with Big U's organization. And so, yes, the talk of him catching a Rico is very, very real. And that's shocking to me because I really thought Lil Baby had like learned his lesson and was staying out of the streets and stuff, but apparently not. I just don't understand how you got this much money, but it's just not enough. Why do you, if you fight so hard to get up out of a war zone, you know, like Dirk getting out of Chicago, Thug getting out of, the hood of Atlanta. Like, they blessed you. Why do you keep going back? And then when you go back, they killing each other. And so this is what's happening. And so they're saying that his platform was used and will be used to put together the cases that they have on these men that they indicted. And so he's just basically trying to cut his losses now because it's going to go south. Either he could just walk away now and no one will know what footage was being used and things like that, or, he can just kind of face his fate.
I would say this, right? The internet, we live in some of the greatest times that we ever can live in. You can literally get on the internet and talk and make money. You have people today that what took our mothers and fathers 20 to 30 years to make, you can do it in 2 years. If you're charismatic enough, if you're good enough, you can make millions of dollars in 2 to 3 years, right? That's what the internet has provided for us. But also, there's also a dark side to the internet, right? And what you're seeing with Vlad TV and Adam 22, the No Jumper podcast, is they provided platforms for a lot of you idiots to go up there and talk about criminal activity you shouldn't be talking about. And then you got a nerve to call other people snitches. No, you self-snitch on yourself. Because whenever they ask you those type of questions, next question, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to talk about my music. I'm here to talk about other things that has nothing to do with the line of questioning that you're asking me, right? And then you get people like Whack 100. He has the gossip on everybody. And you see him in the video, he knows that loose cannon is not the sharpest tool in the shed, and he's egging them on, right? He's not trying to protect Loose. No. He like, yeah, and this happened. So these platforms have become rest havens for gangsters and street kids to go up there and talk their stuff, and the feds just sit by and watch, right? So now he's using the excuse that his overhead is too heavy, and he should have listened to Vlad and not have so much overhead where he can keep all the money for himself. So now he's downsizing. It's funny how he's downsizing now when the feds are kicking in doors. You had Dumb Brick Baby on there with a pistol on, a firearm on him, knowing he's a felon, where the camera can see the firearm. And they're talking about criminal activity. Big U, all these guys, man, you're connected to all of this stuff that's going on. Well, these guys are connected to murders. These guys claim to be Bloods and Crips already. So they're already connected to notorious street gangs associated with death, destruction, and despair, and total chaos of our communities. And you got these guys on your show as regular guests every day and as employees on your show. And they're not on there to uplift the community. They're on there to actually propagate gang violence. And you guys, so the question I'm asking is, when has these podcasts, why have they failed so far to the point where they're not even talking about hip hop? They're talking about criminal activity now. And that's becoming the norm. And you got YouTubers on here today trying to solve cases for the police. It's just thing just get real goofy, man. But I don't know, but let me know what you guys think. I'm going to cut this video short. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV, leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Remember, I love y'all. Till next time. Peace.